Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Just Good Games. Over the past couple of months I have found myself enjoying a gaming series that at one point in time I had very little interest in, and even after playing one of the games in said series had not really blown me away. I'm of course talking about the Yakuza series. Today's video will be me discussing the info of the series, taking a look at the story, taking a look at the gameplay, and then me explaining my thoughts on the series and why I think you should definitely give this amazing gaming series a good go. But before I do that, I would like you to go down there, hit that subscribe button please, and also give this video a like. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Yakuza series is absolutely massive in Japan, but it's taken a while for it to really hit home with gamers in the West. Maybe it's due to the massive delays between the games coming out in Japan and in Europe and America, some being delayed for up to 5 years. The style of gameplay maybe not translating too well, or maybe it's just the fact that some people don't like to read subtitles. I would say the series didn't really crack the market over here until Zero, the 6th game in the series, and now with remasters and remakes the full series is available for you to play on PlayStation 4. The franchise has become a commercial and critical success due to this, and as of 2020 Sega has reported that the Yakuza franchise has sold a combined total of 12 million units in physical and digital sales since its debut in 2005. So as you can work out by doing some simple maths, this gaming series is over 15 years old. It spans, including spin-offs, over 10 games and has crossed over 2 generations. I'm not going to go into the spin-offs as much today as I haven't played them and I've heard that they're not really that good. The main series of games consists of Yakuza 1, remade as Yakuza Kiwami, Yakuza 2, which has been remade as Yakuza Kiwami 2, 3, 4 and 5, which have been remastered for PlayStation 4 as the Yakuza Collection, 6 and 0, which is a prequel. That's quite a lot to take in, and if you're wondering where to start, I personally recommend Kiwami or 0. I started with 0 and I'm slowly making my way through the rest, but there's a lot more on my experience with the games later. The series primarily focuses on the Yakuza Kazuma Kiryu from the Tojo clan. While Kiryu often assists the Tojo clan, the series has also featured him searching for another way of life in the form of raising orphans. The gameplay of Yakuza has the player controlling Kiryu or other characters depending on the title in an open district where he can encounter enemies or perform activities in the city to obtain experience. The game style is very hard to define, but action roleplay and beat 'em up is probably the best way to go about it. Although this game does cross genres, the worlds and cities are just so full of life and things to do. It really feels like a world that has been lived in for years. I'm not going to go too in depth with the main story at this point, as this video is for you to go out and discover that story for yourselves. But what I will say is every game is full of twists and turns, great characters and and I do mean long cutscenes. This game is on Hideo Kojima Metal Gear Solid level of cutscene length and frequency, and if that's not your thing, then maybe this series might not be for you, but it does tell a great story and Kiryu is a great protagonist. You pretty much play through all of the major points in his life from his 20s to his 50s. But for you long cutscene haters out there, these games are most definitely worth it for the gameplay. I'm going to start with the combat here before we move in to all the other weird and wonderful types of gameplay. The combat is great and plays very much like a 3D beat 'em up. It's almost like a modern Streets of Rage, which really makes sense considering the original Streets of Rage was made by Sega. You put together combos to lower your opponent's health and to build your heat meter. Building your heat meter allows you to unleash devastating heat/finishing moves. You can also use weapons that range from swords and knives to magazines and bikes, all with their own finishing moves. Kiryu has different styles of combat depending on what obviously game you're playing. In one of the games he has 4 combat styles, and also the combat changes on which character you're playing. In one of the games you play as another character, and one of his combat styles is using a bat, and it's bloody awesome to tell you that. Yeah. But the combat stays mostly the same through all the series. Obviously, you fight and you do your combat in the main story, but also as you go around the streets and the cities, you encounter random groups of enemies, a bit like a JRPG. This gives you experience and money that allows you to upgrade yourself and acquire new abilities, and to buy food, and to do all the activities, the glorious activities which you will do in this game. So that's the bones of the gameplay, and that is amazing, and the fights are absolutely epic and the bosses are fantastic, and when you are playing on the harder difficulties it can really be quite punishing, but now it's time to put some meat on them bones. This comes in all the different types of side missions, sub-missions and mini-games. They are all bonkers. Every game usually has some sort of mega side quest in the style of clan management or property or territory management or club management as well. These really add almost a whole other story to the game and are really fun to grind out and complete. The submissions are also batshit crazy, with you having to do karaoke, dance battles, dialogue trees and even baseball. In one of them you are a taxi driver and you have to do taxi races. That's absolutely amazing. There's always a really good but weird dating simulator style of gameplay in there. The missions can be a bit pervy at times, but these games have so much charm that you can look past it. It's just such a weird and wonderful juxtaposition to have this great fighter, serious Yakuza, take part in these crazy stories, take part in dance battles, take part in karaoke. It's absolutely amazing. And all these mini games are really realised and just really good mini games, and it's so cool. In 6 there's like a Cheers style bar that you have to build up friendships in. In number 5 you actually play as Kiru's niece, a wannabe pop star, and you have to advance her career. These games have so much content and it's all amazing. The mini games in the arcades are actually old Sega arcade games. You can plunge so many hours into these games, and this is partially where I went wrong my first time round. As I said earlier, I started the Yakuza series with Yakuza 0, even though some will say to start with Kiwami and then work your way through to 5, then play 0 as a prequel and then finish it off with 6. I have not done that, and I started with 0, then went to 6 and now to 5 and then to Kiwami. This order is called the whatever one's on sale on the PlayStation Store order. But anyway, I started with Yakuza 0 and I just thought it was okay. I played my way through the story, getting a bit bored sitting through all the cutscenes and thinking that the combat is great but a bit repetitive. What I failed to do is to break up the main story with all the sub-missions and mini-games. I have since came back to 0 and mopped up all the sub-stories, the cabaret club and the real estate missions. I realised what I missed out on in the first time, and then it clicked for me that the Yakuza games are not just about the main story. They are an experience and you have to take in all aspects of the game to truly get it. The Yakuza series obviously takes a lot of inspiration from Shenmue in the way you play through all aspects of Kiru's life. When I got to playing 6, which I only picked up because it was so cheap, and I just thought, oh, you know what, I'll give this series a second go. I did all the sub-stories and I sprinkled them in throughout the main story so it never got boring. As I took in all aspects of the game, and I'm pleased to say that the experience was amazing. Breaking up all the combat and cutscenes with some silly stories, underwater fishing, clan management and hostess mini games, it was just amazing. I enjoyed it so much that I managed to get the platinum trophy, and it only really got a bit of a grind towards the end, which is a testament to how well the game is designed and the fact that every activity feeds into the other one, so you're always pushing towards that ultimate completion and ticking off activities on your completion list. After 6 I played some different games for a while, and then I got that Yakuza itch all over again and found out that 5 was considered the best, and it is. So I purchased 5. You swap between 5 different characters in 5 and each is very unique. It's so good that then I went out and got Kiwami, and that has been remade awesomely. This is also a plus to newcomers coming to the series now, as you have 7 amazing games to get through. This could take you months or maybe even years to get through if you want to try and do everything in every game. I have absolutely fallen in love with the Yakuza series, and although it can seem like a lot to start off with, it is, to be honest, but as soon as you take the plunge, you just get immersed in this amazing world and story. Kiryu is definitely an underrated gaming icon. He is just so likeable and is the backbone of all these games. I really have a soft spot for games where genre cross and mix it up. Yakuza has this in spades. It can get a bit weird at times and a bit pervy, but just go with it, as if that puts you off, you are really missing out on an amazing series. The future also looks bright for the Yakuza series, as Yakuza 7 or Yakuza Like a Dragon has been released in Japan for a while now, and it looks like it's got great reviews and it looks amazing, and it should be released over here soon. This game is sort of a soft reboot and changes the combat up to a turn-based JRPG style combat, which I'm pretty sure started off as an April Fool's joke one year and has now actually turned into a proper game. At the end of the day, I recommend the Yakuza series so much. It's just a unique experience, and in an age where that's quite hard to come by, it's always worth trying something new. So take the plunge today, go out and get a Yakuza game and work your way through it. So there you have it. This is the end of the video. Thank you for making it to the end. All I need you to do now is go down, hit that subscribe button, hit like, share the video, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and once again, you have been watching Just Good Games.